Ladies and gentlemen, Bungle, hope you're doing well and I hope you're having a great day. So today I want to talk about kind of Genshin Impact and kind of why you may consider not rolling for a new character. So when we talk about getting a new character in Genshin Impact, there's already an investment into rolling, getting that character, right? It's kind of a gotcha game where it's basically gambling in the sense that you're going to have to spend money or spend a lot of primo gems that you earn from playing the game to get the character that you want and have a chance of getting that character. And even getting that character can be very, very expensive, especially if you're not, really winning the gotcha system. I mean, of course, there's a safe net for you to eventually get the character after rolling so much, but keep in mind, like I said, if you're trying to go and get all these constellations on the character and get it unlocked, especially if it's a 5-star, this could run you past $1,000 very, very easily. And if you're really having a hard time trying to, get the character, you could end up spending way over like $2,000. So you got to keep that in mind when you're investing in a new character in Genshin Impact, because it's going to cost you some money if it's like, especially at 5-star. Now, if we're talking about like 4 stars and stuff like that, usually the ballpark limit to like C6ing a 4-star character, I think the low end investment's like 150, high end's more like 300. So you got to keep that in mind too when we're talking about putting money into Genshin Impact, as well as spending your primo gems in order to like C6 or get all the constellations for a character. So already up front, there's kind of a cost basis issue that you have when you're trying to get a new character. Now, when we talk about once you get that character, and then you have to worry about the weapon issue, right? So of course, any character in Genshin Impact, they always have a default weapon, usually the 5 stars. So the 5 stars have a weapon that's kind of associated with their character. So my favorite character, Yoimiya, she has a Thundering Pulse. Now, in order to get the Thundering Pulse for Yoimiya, I had to do the weapon banner. And the weapon banner, as everyone usually says, is a scam. It's a scam alert. But basically, it is worse than rolling for a character because the odds are heavily stacked against you. I think it's like 30% chance that you actually get the weapon that you want and a 60% chance that you're going to get a weapon that you don't want. So it's heavily stacked against you. Eventually it has a pity system where basically if you roll, keep trying to roll for it and you get it, if you don't get the weapon at least 2 times, then the next roll you'll definitely get the weapon. And like I said, this can cost you over, like we're talking about money, like over $300 just to get the weapon that you may need for that 5-star character. So already there's a gambling aspect into getting the weapon for your character. Then when we talk about, okay, maybe you didn't get the weapon, but maybe you're looking at the free-to-play option, or you're looking at maybe using a 4-star, well, even that's kind of a gamble itself. Do you have these weapons on your account from rolling from previous weapon banners, right? Like Favonius Sword or Rust, for example. We're talking about Yoimiya, maybe talking about weapons like Rust or the Stringless, etc., right? What weapons will work for Yoimiya? And really for a 4-star, you want to use Rust. Now, when we talk about leveling up a character, you get to a point that you're going to have to go and basically get XP scrolls per series of levels that your character will get. And usually how it works is increments of 20 levels, 10 levels-ish per ascension point. So when you start off with a new character, you're ranking it up from 0 to 20, then you go from 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, etc. And as you hit each of those roadblocks, as you're using your XP scrolls, you realize that you need to get ascension materials to get to the next level. And basically that includes, fighting bosses on the world map and everything like that. And what you got to keep in mind is that there is a Rensen system, or kind of like a time limit, that you can only do so much in a day without either spending more money on it, which you're limited in how much you can spend anyway to try to increase the points. So if you play, games like Clash of Clans and everything like that, you're kind of familiar with this time limit thing that you can only do so much in a day before you either have to throw money at the screen to continue for a little bit, or you just have to call it quits. So you already have a time-gated experience with that as well, and it's an annoying factor a lot compared to like a lot of other free-to-play games I play, like War Thunder, World of Tanks Enlisted, where you basically can just play as long as you want. It just really comes down to how much you can knock out in your own time. Here, it's time-gated, like it's purposely restricting you on how much you can do with your character anyway. So you gotta keep in mind, you have to defeat bosses, the bosses have to drop stuff, collect these materials from the boss, you're gonna have to use it in order to combine them into a higher grade material, and even that takes some time as well. So it's basically this big time-gated experience to try to get this character leveled up to where you want it to be. Now, once you get your character leveled up to where you want it to be, then there's these things called talents. So talents basically increase the effectiveness of your damage of your character and everything like that. It basically makes your skills stronger. So one of the things to note when you're trying to upgrade, let's say Yoimiya in this case, right? If you C6 a character, usually out of the gate, their talents are going to be 3-3-3, right? So their elemental E skill, which is pretty much a skill that you proc when you press the E button and you hold it down. The elemental burst is when you press Q, or basically the big burst the character does, it does a lot of damage. All be around like level 3 if you C6. Usually the general rule of thumb is you want to get your character to 666, which is pretty much the attack is level 6, the elemental burst is level 6, and the elemental skill is level 6 as well. And if you C6 a character, it makes it a little easier because you can just, grind out the materials quicker since the levels are pretty much going to be time gated back to, let's say, level 1. It will show level 3 because you ascended it. You have a C6 constellation, but basically the default level is still going to be the same level as it would be for any other character you're just starting off. So it makes it easier to get that character to level 6 talent, whereas if you're trying to get it to level 6 talent and you didn't C6 a character, it's going to take way more investment to get. So as you're leveling up, you realize that, wow, you have to go and get, again, these scrolls from doing these domains. The domains are pretty much kind of like I said, kind of like the boss when you get into the boss mechanics when you're trying to get equipment and material to upgrade your character to ascend it to another level. It's the same way. They run these domains will drop ascension materials for your talents, and then that way you will use that to ascend to the next point. Now the last part, kind of the big one, is the artifacts. Artifacts can make or break your character. And the artifact system, in my opinion, is probably the worst part of Genshin Impact. The problem with the artifact system is that it is RNG based on what attributes, what skills you get for your character. So when you're talking about different attributes of your character, like critical rate, crit damage, attack, HP, elemental mastery, energy recharge, etc. When you're trying to roll for these artifacts, trying to get these stats, right? Usually how you do is you go through domains, same thing as you would be getting talent ascension materials. It will randomly generate an artifact for you, and those stats could look good on paper, but as you grind and upgrade your artifact, which is pretty much consuming lower end artifacts you get from doing artifact domains, you realize that that artifact may actually turn out to be total crap. And then the one that may look like crap, as you ascend it, may actually look really, really good. Very, very frustrating. These artifacts really do make or break a character. Like Yoimiya, for example, right? Normally, let's be honest, she's not a good character compared to Ayaka, compared to Kazuha, compared to Raiden Shogun, etc. There are way better characters than Yoimiya. But to make Yoimiya better is having a good artifact kit, right? So if I have a good artifact kit, in theory, Yoimiya should actually be very, very strong. But to get to that point, it can take up to several months to get the character where you need it to be. In addition, as you are trying to grind and level up your artifact levels, you have to consume a bunch of artifacts that you grind from previous artifact domains. So as a result, it just gets very, very frustrating, and you invested so much of your artifact XP into it. And of course, you can take that high-end artifact and invest into, let's say, a promising new one. But keep in mind, you can only level it up to, I think, level 18, especially if it's like a level 20 artifact. But pretty much, it is a very, very frustrating grinding experience that you're dealing with time-gated nonsense with how much you can do in a day in Genshin Impact. You're dealing with a money issue with how much money you can put into the game to get these 5-star characters. And one of the issues I have is I have a bunch of 5-star characters I haven't even started with, because the problem is that it takes so much just to grind, and it's time gated, so as a result, a lot of these characters have to be put on the bench in order to get some of the teams I'm trying to work on actually build up, because I'm working on getting their artifacts built up, I'm working on getting their levels up, everything like that. So it's a very, very frustrating experience, especially if you're kind of newer to the game. But that's my opinion, that's my advice to you if you're out there thinking about getting a new character. Kind of take a step back and look at your account, trying to see if you've been able to actually get what you need, or you have your team compositions that you have built up. They're actually good, all your characters are leveled up that you want leveled up, and then you can think about adding this new character to a team that you already have, or you have the stuff in place to rank up this character and everything like that. But in general, usually I'm holding it off until I can see something that's like a clear upgrade, right? So Yoimiya, right, her banner's coming up again. I might actually just roll the C6 here because I already have her at C2. Kazuha, sure, be a great addition, but on my freeze team I got Venti, right? Venti works great for energy recharge for Ayaka, and honestly I may be looking at getting Shinha for Ayaka because I have Ganyu on my team, but I think Shinha would actually do a big cryo boost. But you gotta keep that in mind. You know, what's your team composition? What are you trying to do with your teams, etc. But other than that, I've reached this point in the video. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. If you want more Genshin Impact content or my takes, comment down below and I'll look into it. Other than that, hope you all have a great day. Take care.